Alright guys, so we have come to the concluding part of W.H. Hudson's Some Ways of Understanding Literature in an Introduction to the Study of Literature. So in which W.H. Hudson had aptly pointed out that there are a number of ways in understanding literature. Especially as a student of literature, you should have to undergo a fair bit of idea in reading, in general reading, in the sense that understanding the author is the most important thing behind understanding a piece of literature. Additionally, he also pointed out that it's better if you could go through the biography of an author in order to understand the passions, the influences, the emotions, the feelings, and the general trends in which the author was able to write during that period. So when it comes to Shakespeare or Carlyle or John Donne, during that period, during the Elizabethan period and all, so what Hudson was saying, that they got into a lot of influence by the politics, by the socio-economic and the wars, the diseases during that period were also of great importance and influence for these kind of writers. So moving on to the next part of the first module, as W. Hudson has brought in William Shakespeare into the scene, we are also taking some time to understand Shakespeare in a more general, in an authentic manner by going through one of his sonnets. As you know, sonnets are a 14-lined poem, as we discussed before, and in the 14-line poem, you have a particular structure of poem is written by Shakespeare, as well as which is already created by Petrarch, the greatest of Italian poets. So the sonnets that were designed or written by Shakespeare during the period of 1592 to 98, during the 6 years period, Shakespeare had some kind of a different influence when it's been compared or contrasted with his dramas or plays. What is being carved out, what's been depicted from Shakespeare's works is that it's been dedicated. The sonnets are major portion of the sonnets are dedicated to an anonymous identity, which is just W.H. And that W.H. it's a kind of speculation only. We're not sure about what was happened there during that period. We were not sure about who was that person exactly, and we have no kind of identification there about the mentioning of or the depiction of W.H. in that in his sonnets. Actually, he's written almost 154 sonnets in general, and which is all together published, which is already published in the as a single entity, as a single book in 1609. Before his death, he passed away in 1616. So in 1609 it was published as a whole, and there are other sonnets also which is written by Shakespeare, which is actually published as part of his dramas. It's kind of dialogues, presentations, and all. It's in we can find examples of sonnets in Edward III and Richard II. So his dedicated first folio he dedicated the first folio of his works to William Herbert or W.H. Speculation. We're not sure about whether that was the real person, but it's kind of some kind of speculations that happened during that period. William Herbert was the Earl of Pembroke. There's a place in UK in England, and William Herbert was a close friend, a kind of romantic relation. He had a romantic kind of relationship with W.H. or William Herbert, and that is why he was forced to dedicate the works, especially the sonnets, to W.H. And also a minor portion of Shakespeare's sonnets were also dedicated to a dark lady, again an anonymous or an unknown identity of a dark lady, which we are not sure about who exactly the person was. Maybe that was also, as discussed by W.H. Hudson, that was kind of influence which he got from Spain, because he used to travel to Spain a lot during that period, and he might have met with someone, a black lady or dark lady, a Spanish Moor, which was there in the Spanish Moor is already there in his dramas, especially. So there is a possibility that this is a Spanish dark lady who was residing in Spain was part of this work. This sonnet was dedicated to this sonnet. All right. So there are other people, other researchers having this kind of approach that this sonnets written by Shakespeare is a kind of parody of Petrarch. Parody in the sense that he just copied the styles of Petrarch, which of course is correct to the maximum level. I can say that it's kind of inverting in its conventional gender to create a more complex depiction of human love, because Petrarch also was a poet who dealt with the theme love, especially true love, or you might call it the Platonic or divine love. So Shakespeare was also a kind of poet who also given more prominence, more emphasis on true love, and that's why people are researchers especially, and literary critics are also of the opinion that Shakespeare was a kind of parody writer, or someone who imitates Petrarch's works, the great Italian writer's work, especially sonnets. So both sonnets written by Petrarch and Shakespeare were 14 lines, which includes 4 lines containing as a quatrain. That means in 4-line stanza is called a quatrain in a sonnet, and such kind of 3 stanzas will be there, or 3 quatrains will be there, and then you have a 2-lined rhyming couplet. So 4 into 3 quatrains, that is 12, and plus 2 lines which are called the rhyming couplets. So 3 quatrains including 12 lines plus 2 additional rhyming couplet. Altogether you have got 14 lines, and all his sonnets written by Shakespeare are in iambic pentameter. Hope you understood, something about iambic pentameter. Penta means 5, and iambic pentameter is actually the meter, the rhyme scheme of iambic pentameter is A B C D C D E F G G. That is the rhyme scheme of iambic pentameter. It's the way in which it rhymes. The sonnet rhymes, the poem rhymes, the song rhymes. A B C D C D E F G G. Also, we can say that even if it is an iambic pentametered line in a single line, you can see 5 times of beat in a single line. Duck dum, duck dum, duck dum, duck dum dum. So da dum da dum da dum. Kind of 5 beats in a single line. So da dum da dum da, da dum da dum da. Those are the 5 kinds of beats in a single line. The beats da dum da dum da. All right. So that is iambic pentameter. That is the way in which Shakespeare wrote the sonnets. So both poems written by Shakespeare and in fact Petrarch have a point where the subject changes. Subject sometimes changes. When it comes to the poem, you will also understand that where exactly the time in which the subject changes from seriousness to casual mode, from a formal mode to a casual mode. All right. So it comes when you go through the lines, you will understand. When we go through the line, we will come to know about how it shifts from seriousness to casual mode. So, all right, so we are moving into the poem now. So it is sonnet number 16, sonnet number 116, 116, written by Shakespeare, and it's nothing but let me not to the marriage of true minds. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. That is the first line of the poem. So let me not to the marriage of true minds. Admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. That's the first quatrain, which includes the 4 lines. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. It is actually the language used in traditional marriage ceremonies, the services in Christian setup and all, where you can find the commitment, the betrothal of both the bride and groom committing to each other and sharing the constancy of true love over there. You have a witness in front of you, wherein the priest acts as a witness, who is actually a witness from the god as well, who himself is a representative of the god as well. So let me not to the marriage of true minds. So if I'm not against the marriage of true minds, if something is there called the marriage of true minds, believe me, I'm not against it. Believe me, if impediments happens in between, I will be against it. So let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. If either the groom or the bride admit impediments in the sense that the kind of infidelity which is happening within the relationship, the kind of untruthfulness, if you are sharing untruthfulness, if you're not trying to constantly go ahead with the kind of true love which you share, which you have already committed in front of God, which you have already committed in front of the society, then let me not to the marriage of true minds. I won't accept infidelity as per Shakespeare. So something is happening, some kind of influence is happening. We can bring in Rabbi Hudson here by understanding the author, by understanding the poet here. Something is happening to him. Something is fishy in Denmark. So that is happening. That is what Shakespeare would like to say. So love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. So love is not love, which changes as per the changes of either of these persons. Someone of either the bride or groom or the husband or wife are showing infidelity towards the other, then love is not love. That is not true love, according to Shakespeare. Love is not true love, which alters when it alteration finds. Alters when it alteration finds. Remember this. Alters, alteration. Or bends. Bends with the remover to remove. Bends in the sense true love does not change. It won't bend all of a sudden. It moves on like that. It moves on as per the commitment which they share, or bends with the remover to remove. There are kind of, some kind of words which are called the mirrored words, wherein you can find same kind of words placed, juxtaposed, placed side by side, which alters when it alteration finds. Alters and alteration. Those kinds of words are, wherein you have the same root, alter, or alteration, but ends in different style. So alter and alteration, or different endings, same root and different endings. So alters and alteration. Bends with the remover to remove. So remover and remove. Alter, alteration, remover and remove. You have 2 different sets of words. They are called polyptyton. Polyptyton. Polypton. So repetition of words derived from the same root having, but with different endings. It suggests that this remover to remover, bends with the remover to remove, it actually suggests that love is nothing but constant. It won't change. If you like to bend your true love by wishing or by moving ahead with someone else, then that is not constant. That's what Shakespeare would like to reinstate by saying that love is constant. He might have experienced something vulnerable during that period. It will not change the same way that appearances do, as per the poet. All right, moving on to the next quatrain. Oh no, what is love? That's what he's saying. That this is the definition of love that he would like to say. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark. Love is an ever fixed mark. It won't change. It is already there. It is an ever fixed. It's kind of birthmark. The amount, the volume, the frequency of love is ever fixed. You can't change it. And moving ahead, he's saying that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark. That mark which cannot be changed. So love is unchanging here. Even in stormy weather, even it looks on tempests and is never shaken. It won't shake. Even if you are moving ahead within a bark over the rough sea that looks on tempests, you won't change. Your heart won't shake. Still, you have that amount of love should be there within your heart. It is the star to every wandering bark. Bark here is ship. So for every wandering bark and wandering bark, not just a bark or a ship having a specific, destination. This is a wandering bark wherein you don't have a navigator's compass. The mariner's compass is not with you. You don't have any idea on where to dock. So it's a wandering bark. So your wandering bark has some aim, some kind of navigation will be there within your heart. That is the star. That star is the love. So love is compared to the pole star here. As in the Bible, when Jesus Christ was born, you have a star rising up, showing the way to the destination for the kings, for the people who came to meet Jesus Christ, the baby, the Savior. So similarly, see the amount of religion coming into play. See the amount of faith coming into play, which is entirely the opposite when you compare a poem with the 21st century poet writer. So love is itself compared to the pole star, which helps the sailors to navigate. Even if you are inside a wandering bark, you still have the pole star in front of you, showing you the correct way to move ahead. And that pole star is nothing but the amount of true love within your heart. The true love of the poet. The true love that he wanted to share with his close friend, romantic friend. The stars whose worth's unknown, that's what he's saying. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. So you have the pole star inside you. You have the amount of love inside you, true love inside you, which he would like to compare it with the pole star. If if you want to take the measurement of the distance between Earth and the pole star, if you know some kind of astronomy or astrophysics, you can do it. The star's height can be calculated mathematically, but its worth unknown. The value of that star, the value of your true love, is unknown. Its value to the ships, the value to you, the value that you extend to the other person, to your partner, is immeasurable. Immeasurable. Moving on to the next part, next quatrain, the third quatrain. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Love's not time's fool. Love is not time's fool. So it's kind of, personification is happening here. Personification makes the battle between love and time more dramatic here. So moving on to the third quatrain, you can find the tone changing. It's accelerating. It has calibrated a bit. So love is not time's fool. Love is not time's fool. Love and time is playing its part now. Though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. It's kind of time can take away your youthness, your beauty, your vigor and all, but not love. Your rosy lips, your cheeks, everything will be reaped by the gardener. Everything will be reaped by time. Time will fade away your youthness, your beauty, your enchanting personality, your vigor. Everything will be fade away, but your love, your amount of love, will never fade away with time. So time will be a failure when it comes to love. Time cannot fade away your love. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. Love alters not. Love will never change with his brief hours and weeks. So again, time. Time is represented here as brief hours and weeks. We all know that we are here in this world for not for a long period. We have in front of us just brief hours and weeks. We have in front. The time is flying like anything in front of us. Love alters not. Love changes not, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Love changes not, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Doom in the sense that doomsday. Again, the biblical representation of doomsday is coming up. The quality of a religious person coming up here, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Mentioning of doomsday, mentioning of judgment day, as per belief. Even if you end up as a person who has nothing, who has no vigor, who has no flesh, no blood, what will happen? Your love will remain even after your death. It bears out even to the edge of doom, till the end of the day, till the end of judgment. Your love will remain. Love lasts beyond death. That's what I say. It lasts beyond death. So that is the power of love as per Shakespeare. So edge of doom, by saying edge of doom, Shakespeare is trying to bring in the image of hyperbole, the element of hyperbole here, which he wanted to reflect the power of love there, the unimaginable power of love. Time is made to seem fleeting, but also unimportant here as per Shakespeare. It's related to death. Time is related to death. But love ultimately wins. Time will become a failure, as per Shakespeare, as per the poet. It's the intensity of love here, the intensity of passion towards love by a poet dramatist. All right, moving on to the last two lines, the rhyming couplet. Now he's changing the tone again. He's guaranteeing what he said now. Shakespeare is guaranteeing by saying that whatever I had said is right. If not, kick me out. That is the last two lines. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. If this be error, whatever I said, if it is error, if you can prove it to be error, a wrong thing, a mistake, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. He knows that he has written poetry that men have loved in the past. He has written a lot of poetry. This is the 116th sonnet. Whatever I had written, everything will change all of a sudden. Because if you can prove, if the readers can prove, the society can prove that whatever Shakespeare has written is a mistake, then I never writ. That means I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Whatever I had said would be completely false. But you can't prove. That is the amount of, credibility, the personal credo of a person, personal credo of a poet, the amount of credo of a poet. I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Now, if this be error, that's what he's saying. That is, he's guaranteeing that what he's saying is true. It's quite defensive and challenging. That's the amount of influence which happened to Shakespeare. So when it comes to W.H. Hudson here, so bringing in Hudson's element here, so you try to compare and contrast Hudson's elements, like the influence of a poet, the influence of an author, of a writer. What all influenced a person to write a work? The change in tone. So the change in tone in this work is like the first three quatrains or stanzas, as we say commonly. The first three quatrains plus the last two lines, the rhyming couplet. When it comes to the rhyming couplet, the change is happening, and that change in tone is nothing but it is called a volta. Right. So that's it. That's all about William Shakespeare sonnets number 16. Let me know to the marriage of true minds. All right. So let's have a discussion on this in the next class, and we will have more kind of notes and things will be there, will be posted in the description box beneath the video. All right. Thank you so much, and thanks for your attention, and have a nice day.